I'm extremely humbled to be a part of this small group of reps who have made it to this point in their career.
Jamie was born in the summer '77 in Stamford, Connecticut, to Faith and Jared Silver. I'm sure you're not surprised to hear that he had a camera in hand early on, but first we need to look back for some perspective, because his parents were involved with Yearbook early on too. With their high school yearbook only published every other year, for their senior year they decided to pull a team together, with the help of Faith's father being in publishing and Jared being a photographer. They created a yearbook and had it printed for their classmates. On June 17, 1977, their first child was born. The Silvers moved to Illinois in the summer of '79. Jamie's passion for photography and anything with wheels came naturally. In 1988, life got even better when his sister Lauren was born. Being a big brother was a blast, and family adventures were always fun, often going back to the East Coast. Jamie was introduced to newspaper and yearbook in 7th grade. In high school, yearbook and photography became his passion. This is where he met Mr. D, his photo and yearbook teacher, as well as Mo, not Maureen, who we all know, but Mo Farrenson, his amazing yearbook rep from that other company. Fast forward to this amazing guy, Paul Havnen, who hired him in 2001 with Herff Jones. You may recognize some faces of this sales school, but only 2 reps remain, Jamie and Jim. In addition to Paul, Jamie had amazing mentors, including Ray Gildenbach, Steve Bailey, and of course Doug McWilliams, the sharp-dressed man, the amazing Myrna, the hilarious and also supportive Pam Cox, the powerful and funny Steve Nagel, and of course the brilliant Mo, aka Mom 2. Jamie enjoys visiting everyone at the plant as often as possible and bringing yearbook students whenever he can, attending local conventions with schools, and of course visiting yearbook staffs. Steve Bailey was a friend to so many of us, and someone Jamie truly looked up to, from distribution day to time with his awesome fellow reps like Mo and Joelle, Herff Jones friends like Debbie King, to Sarah Eagle and the entire customer service family. He truly loves how his passions have turned into an amazing career. Just look at this group. What a cool work family. And then, in 2008, this yearbook geek met his band geek, True Love. Tara's a true sport. She puts up with his love for cars and cameras. While they both had flourishing careers and strong work ethic, life was just better together. And in 2010, they proudly walked down the aisle together as husband and wife. They even had some of the Herff Jones family join in on the fun. What an amazing time to celebrate together with friends and family. And then, 2013, Emma Silver brought a whole new level of love to the Silver family. Jamie was blessed with a great career and now a growing family. Life is good. His work family and family really start to come together. In May of 2021, Herff Jones asked Jamie about being a dual rep. He needed help, so Mickey joined the team, and she's proven to be an awesome associate. Together, they support yearbook staffs in Illinois and Wisconsin, allowing Jamie to also manage the Wisconsin-based graduation territory. We always say, it's all about relationships. Otherwise, what's the point? So life is good for Jamie with his beautiful family and awesome work family, extending not only to yearbook, but also a new chapter with the Herff Jones graduation team and making new friends.
One of the phrases we use that I still believe in is image of difference. What makes us unique, right? And every rep has something that makes them unique. I've shared my story of how I grew up in the studio environment and the school environment. So when I'm calling on a school, what I go in with is my passion for photography, how I got involved in yearbook as a kid. And when they want to learn more about photography, just show me the basics of how to compose a photo or what are all these settings on my camera. That's where I like to shine, because I love it. So I was born in Stamford, Connecticut in 1977 to my parents, Faith and Jared Silver. And my little sister, she doesn't like to be called that now, but Lauren was born in 1988. And when I was about 1 year old, we moved to Illinois, and we've been in Illinois since. Both my parents are small business owners. No surprise for those who know me. My dad is a commercial photographer, and my mom owned a couple Montessori schools. So I grew up with the kids around all the time. After school, I'd go to my mom's school or my dad's office to be in the studio. So in, I believe it was 7th grade in middle school, I first got involved with student publications, starting with both newspaper and yearbook. And then I went to Barrington High School, where I worked on the yearbook all 4 years, which was a challenge being a freshman. And by the senior year, I was the editor of that, so I truly enjoyed the yearbook, having gotten involved with photography. After that, I went to Western Michigan University, got a degree. I started in graphic design, but then I realized they weren't going to let us use computers for a couple years, and I found this unique program and got involved in printing and paper making, and that's kind of how I got here. When I was editor of my high school yearbook, my rep was Mo Ferrenson. He's passed away, really great guy, and he was a Jostens rep, so I hate to say that here. And he said, give him a call when I graduate from college. I did, and he wanted to hire me, but they weren't hiring anyone at the time. So I found this ad for Herff Jones. That was my first exposure to the company. So I met Paul in Chicago for lunch, coffee, something like that. And a couple weeks later, I found myself in Indy interviewing with Debbie Hale and Mark Dawsey. And on my drive home back to Chicago, because it was only a few hours, I got a call from Paul. And he said, how'd you like to come work for Herff Jones? When I started out, it was pretty intimidating. I had no sales experience. I had two parents that owned businesses, so I kind of observed what they did in a sales capacity, but I was very timid and introverted as a kid in high school, so that was a little hard getting out of my shell. So life was great. Life was on a roll. My dog and I, Moose, Husky Akita mix, were all ultimate bachelors and just having fun building a territory. One day, I remembered something that Paul Havnen told me when he hired me. He said, because you're an independent contractor with Herff Jones, you will never miss a Little League game, which didn't make much sense to me. I was fresh out of school, didn't have any family at the time, but I did meet my wife on eHarmony, and we got married, and that comment from Paul really came back. And it really came back even more when we welcomed our daughter, Emma, to the world. So honestly, I never thought I'd make it this far, Hall of Fame. So I'm honored to be part of this with my fellow inductees this year, and I can't wait to hear their stories as well. There are so many people I'd like to thank who have helped me in my career at Herff Jones over the decades. So I'd like to start by thanking Mickey, who recently joined my team in May of 21, right at the end of the school year, right as the world came to a halt due to COVID. I want to thank her for her passion for excellent customer service, personal drive to do an amazing job without a micromanager or boss, and keeping me current on things. I'd also like to thank my parents, who I can't thank enough. With both my mom and dad owning small businesses, they demonstrated and taught me two things that I believe helped make me the person I am today. Number one, work ethic. Doing whatever it takes and never giving up. Number two, treat people the way I'd like to be treated, with respect and honesty. The old golden rule, which I still live today. Now I'd like to thank Paul and Jeannie Havnen for welcoming me to Herff Jones, getting my feet wet and supporting me every step of the way in the early years. Another Havnen I'd like to thank is Mark. Mark, Thank you so much for all your support, especially over the years when I've considered joining the Scholastic side more than one occasion, coming out to visit your operations, seeing how you run things. I can't thank you enough for that, especially as I've jumped into that side of the company now. I'd also like to thank my yearbook advisor from when I was a student in high school, Mr. D, and my yearbook rep back then, Mo Farrenson, for seeing something in me early with yearbook, which would eventually bring me to this point in my career. Also, I'd like to thank Ray Gilgenbach, who's no longer with us. He walked me into schools to introduce me, train me, and transition schools over to me in person back in the day. So to his wife, I can't thank you enough, Rita and Ray. Doug McWilliams. I've always admired and respected your career path at Herff Jones, climbing the ladder as you have done. And I can't thank you enough for all your support over the years. You've always gone out of your way to answer my questions and make me feel like I matter. My local reps, I want to thank Maureen and Melissa Olofsson, Steve Nagel, Ann Urbanek, Joelle Sexton, Elizabeth Elsner, Jim Cranley, Eddie Slokowski, and Tim Nye. Thank you for your friendship over the years and partnership in the Chicagoland area. Kim Minnick, you rock. Thank you for your support. I've always enjoyed our phone conversations and text messages. Thank you for being you. All my managers, RSMs and area managers, the names has changed, but over the years, I want to thank Paul, Bob, Jeffrey, Walt, Greg, Kathy, Tim, Gully, and of course Tiffany, my current RSM. The Marceline plant and the Mission plant, which is now obviously our Edwardsville plant, I can't thank you enough. It's truly a team effort and I would be nowhere without your support. To my CSAs over the years, I'd like to call out and thank Pam, Lisa, Susan, Sarah, and Elizabeth, and everyone else in customer service. To Brian Rusk, and many of you in the room probably don't know that name, he is the manager for BSN in the state of Wisconsin. I can't thank him personally enough and all his sales pros. With them over the last decade, they've put their reputation online, walked me into schools, and helped me sign new business. To Greg Morrison. Greg, I don't know if we're in the same area right now. We keep changing areas, what area, 23 or whatever, but we've stayed in touch over the years, and I really appreciate all the phone calls we've had, text messages about life and yearbook. Dan Miller. I remember when you joined the team with Leah and Liz, two other amazing friends of mine, and I just want to thank you for all your support. I'm in awe of who you've become as a rep and family man. To Mark and Gwen Childers, you're amazing. Enough said. I don't know what else to say to follow that up. Thank you for everything, e-design and just the people you are. And to my friend Jim Mealty, we are the last ones, and we no longer need to say it. Every meeting we go to, we look at each other when we find each other in the lobby, we say, "You're still here?" Jim, not only are we still here, but we've made it. We are in the Hall of Fame. Last, and certainly not least, I want to thank my beautiful and brilliant wife, Tara, and our energetic daughter, Emma. We married in 2010, about halfway through my career with Herff Jones so far, and boy has she put up with a lot. Listening and supporting me and my career goals and all the changes over the years, including expanding my territory into another state and taking on a whole nother business with Scholastic. As we joke at home, you are the smarter one. Thank you so much for your love and support. And Emma, you're part of this, whether you love it or not, right? When those books arrive at our front door, you and I open those up, and for everyone else in the room, I crack up every time I see her because we'll open those books, we'll have one each, and when I first saw her put that book to her nose and smell the yearbook, that fresh ink, yeah, you've got the bug too, Emma.